Do you ever look at someone and be like, oh my god, their brain is literally how my brain works? What if I told you that is how I am with AI? Just kidding. Or maybe not. Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome to Net AI Talks. Today, I want to talk about why do I think that I like to think like an AI? Or, in other words, why I think like an AI. The aim of this podcast is to help shine light into the way AI thinks to help us understand the AI more, right? The first being the very literal understanding, right? At some point in my life, I was a very literal person. If you say anything, I will take it very literally. And I know there are a lot of people out there who are like that. And so the AI is exactly like that. I'll give you an interesting example. Let's say you ask the AI, what is the fastest way to lose weight? So here, technically, you would know what is the fastest way to do it, right? Or you would know that I need to, go on a diet and do exercises. So technically, you might not want a logical answer or like a realistic answer. Maybe you're looking for motivation or an emotional support. And so you want it to be like, don't worry, it will take time, but you can get there. Once you start, it will get better, something like that. Or perhaps you want it to give you a customized plan for you. The point is, your expectations for the results you'll get from the AI won't match the actual results, right? Why is that? Because for it, you asked it a question, it answered you, it gave you what you asked for. So, if you actually want it to give you the motivation to go and start your diet and your weight loss journey, you might need to ask it for very specific things. You need to mention the things that you want. Imagine this: its memory is empty. It doesn't know anything about what you want to ask. It only has existing data related to other stuff. And so, in order for it to formulate an answer for you, it will use the context that you give it and the data that it has, which brings me to my second point. It needs context. Context will help it understand your situation better, and it will help it to know which parts of the data that it knows that it will use to give you the answer that you're looking for, right? And so, how do I relate to that? I think everyone should relate to that. I don't think this is just me, but having context helps determine what the other person is expecting from you, right? And so if you're asking me for something, don't just tell me the actual thing that you want. I would prefer to know, why do you need this and how do you want it? And so right now at the job that I'm at, they gave me a task, right? And so I know the problem and I know what they want after, resolving this problem. However, I don't know why they want to resolve the problem. I don't know why they chose or how they chose to solve the problem. I don't know any other things. And so the AI would be able to give you a straightforward answer according to this limited information it has, but it won't cover all the needs and requirements, which is why it's interesting and also very important to provide as much information and context as possible to be able to get more satisfying results. Yeah? Okay. The last point that I want to discuss is negation. AI is very bad at taking negation. If you don't want the AI to do something, don't tell it, don't do it, right? I know this was confusing. Let me give you an example. Let's say you told the AI, okay, give me a story about a girl who opened a bakery. And then it told you a story. It started the story, it gave a description of the girl, and now you're like, no, I don't want the girl to be wearing a red dress. Don't include a red dress. It will not be able to take that well. This is a very simple example, but I'm sure if you are playing around with AI, whenever you tell it not to do something, it will keep doing it, right? And that is because it is similar to our brains. You know how sometimes you want to stop yourself from thinking of something, and then you'll be like, don't think about it, don't think about it. But technically, you are thinking about it because you're saying don't think about it, but you know what it is. This it that you're saying to yourself, not think about it, you are actually thinking about it. That's not all. You are subconsciously going to be thinking about it as well. And so, in order for you to stop thinking about something, you distract yourself, you redirect your thoughts to something else, which is also how the AI works. If you redirect it to something else, give the focus to something else, you will forget about that part and will focus on that part. If you need it to focus on a certain part of the story, don't tell it, don't do this. Tell it, do this instead, and it will do it. It is really good at following instructions, but not negation. Okay? And also, AI has memory, right? Especially now with it being more smart, it has memory. It will store some variables. So throughout your chat with an AI, it will store some of the variables, the things that you mentioned, to use it on its later interactions with you. And so if it learns something important, it will keep it in the memory and it will keep mentioning it, right? Even if you don't tell it, it will understand that this is needed for the future interactions as well. And so if you needed to remember something, you can tell it. You can tell it, remember this, it can store it. And if you noticed that it has stored variables that you don't want it to store, for example, it remembered a part of the story and it kept focusing on it and you don't want it, redirect it. That works. Tell it, focus on this, do that. I want you to tell me from this point of view, and it will follow the instructions. Don't tell it not to. Okay, so I hope these 3 points gave you some insight on how the AI usually works. And if you liked this podcast, please make sure to support the channel. Give it a like and subscribe and share it with your friends who are also interested in AI, because that's the aim of the channel, and to help you understand more about AI. Make sure to comment down below if you have any recommendations for topics that you want me to discuss. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them down below as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.